Tornadoes are violent and can be deadly. What are they exactly? NOAA begins with what causes a tornado.
The swirling, funnel-shaped winds of a tornado are easily recognizable, and they can be very dangerous. But what causes these unique and violent weather phenomena? Tornadoes usually begin with a thunderstorm, but not just any thunderstorm, a specific kind of rotating thunderstorm called a supercell. They can bring damaging hail, strong winds, lightning, and flash floods. Supercells form when air becomes very unstable and wind speed and direction are different at different altitudes. This condition is called wind shear. Wind shear is common in the formation of most thunderstorms. When wind at ground level is blowing in one direction and wind higher up in the atmosphere blows in a different direction, it can cause a horizontal tube of air to form. In a thunderstorm, warm air rises up within the storm. This is called an updraft. An updraft can turn a horizontal rotating tube of air into a vertical one. When this happens, the whole storm begins rotating, creating a supercell. Some supercells form a funnel cloud. And if that funnel cloud extends to the ground, it's called a tornado. Tornadoes can produce winds up to 300 miles per hour at the surface, making them dangerous to people and property. As a tornado moves along the ground, its strong winds begin to pick up debris too. In fact, flying debris is usually what causes the most damage in a storm. Thankfully, meteorologists are keeping an eye on your local weather. They will try to give you a heads up if a tornado is likely to form in your area. They combine wind and temperature readings from the ground with information from satellites to determine if your local weather has the right conditions for a tornado. For example, NOAA's Goes East satellite captured this video of an isolated supercell storm in Texas. The different colors represent different cloud top temperatures in the storm. Colder temperatures represent higher cloud tops, which often means stronger storms. So, if you see a tornado watch or warning in your area, look for updates and get to safety as soon as possible. And know that NOAA's GOES-R series satellites will still be keeping a close eye on things from orbit.
Tornadoes occur every year, especially in the middle of the United States. NOAA did a video with Tim Samaras, a severe storm researcher, and someone who was an expert on explaining tornadoes. Unfortunately, he did lose his life chasing one of the largest tornadoes ever recorded in El Reno, Oklahoma in 2013. It's important to continue his message. Here's Tim's amazing NOAA SciJinx video and explainer on tornadoes.
Since I was a kid, I've always been interested in storms. As an engineer, I try to understand how things work, so I actually built and designed a device to measure the weather basically on the inside of a tornado. The United States, on average, gets about 1,200 tornadoes per year. And the reason is because of its unique geographic location. You got the Gulf of Mexico off to the south, and the storm systems, as they pass through, draw this Gulf moisture as water vapor. It comes right up through the Midwest. And springtime generally reflects what we call a very active jet stream. And it brings this very powerful winds that just comes right across the Midwest. That in combination allows these big storm systems to develop, and of course wind shear is a very powerful ingredient for tornadoes. The ingredients for a tornado obviously are quite complex, but some of the basics are, you have to have moisture, you have to have lift, and then the other most important ingredient is what they call wind shear. And shear creates these big horizontal rolls in the atmosphere. And then when a thunderstorm forms underneath it, it actually tips these horizontal rolls in the vertical position to where a thunderstorm forms over them, you have the whole thunderstorm rotating. Those final processes are what we're trying to study. What's bringing the rotation finally all the way to the ground. And that's really one of the biggest mysteries of tornado formation. It's very difficult to forecast where a tornado is going to be. When we're actually in the field waiting for thunderstorms to develop, we use what they call visible satellite imagery. This is basically a picture from space showing the best areas, what we call instability. And that's how and where we are able to target these storms that are developing. Ground-based radar can't even see these storms develop, but satellite can. Satellites also detect what we call boundaries. These boundaries left over from old thunderstorms become the focus of new thunderstorms during the day and actually enhance the tornado potential. Visible satellite technology allows us to identify this, which otherwise would be going totally unnoticed and undetected. One of the biggest things that I would love to see in future satellite technology is the ability to actually see lightning within the cloud tops. All the vertical motion and so forth greatly enhances its ability to create lightning. This lightning mapping will actually show frequency. If the storm is becoming severe, the lightning frequency increases, and thus be able to do an early detection of whether or not that storm is severe or not. If we knew more about tornado genesis and structure, and we're able to stretch that warning out to 20 or 25 minutes. Right now, the average time is about 15 minutes or so. That gives people more time to prepare and seek shelter. Without the GOES satellite, we would be back in the dark ages of the mid to early 60s. These GOES satellites are responsible, in my opinion, for saving many, many thousands of lives.
A tornado watch is different than the much more serious tornado warning. Take a look at this NOAA explainer on severe weather watches and warnings.
Severe weather can develop quickly. Advances in forecasting allow the NOAA National Weather Service to predict severe weather before there's even a cloud in the sky. Severe thunderstorm and tornado watches give you advance notice that conditions are favorable for dangerous weather. When your area is in a watch, be sure to stay alert for changing weather. Remember, a watch is not a warning. A warning is only issued when severe weather is about to strike. The NOAA Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, monitors weather conditions across the United States. They issue daily forecasts showing areas of the country that are likely to experience severe weather. In the hours before storms form, the Storm Prediction Center discusses the weather with National Weather Service forecast offices within the areas at risk. The Storm Prediction Center then issues a watch to notify people in those areas to stay alert for severe weather. A watch also includes information about what type of weather you might see and the chances of it actually occurring. The risk level can range from a few storms with hail and high winds to a particularly dangerous situation when deadly tornadoes could occur. The most important thing you can do when a watch is issued is to stay alert for developing storms and understand your risk. Be sure to tune in to your local news for updated weather information. You can also get instant weather alerts from NOAA Weather Radio. Watches also provide an opportunity to review your family emergency plan as well as check your disaster supplies kit. When the risk increases and severe weather moves in, you'll be ready if a warning is issued. If you need help developing a plan for your family or packing a kit, check out ready.gov for all the information. Stay alert and stay safe this storm season.
See you next time on Fire in Your Sides Weather Academy. I'm meteorologist Jim Castillo.